Let me ask you a question. If you're over 50 and you were to fall over onto the floor, could you get back up again? For many people, the answer is no, and that is catastrophic for many of the people that I treat. Thankfully, many people who currently can't get up from the floor with a bit of training can eventually, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in today's video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Will Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And my job is to keep people like you mobile and active and fit and independent no matter what your age is. So today we're going to be talking about how to get up from the floor. I'm going to show you 3 exercises that will help you get there. And thankfully you can do these exercises even if getting up from the floor right now seems like an impossible task. Hopefully with a few weeks of practice, it will help you do just that. So we're going to look at the exercises now. Before I show you them, I just need to let you know that they are not suitable for everyone. Make sure you get checked out before you give them a try. And if they cause you any pain, then just avoid them. Anyway, let's have a look at the exercises now and hopefully you can try them at home. If you absolutely dread the prospect of having to get up from the floor, then this video is perfect for you. Now, don't worry, before we start, I just want to let you know I'm not going to ask you to get down onto the floor to do exercises to make this video useful. That's not what this is about at all. It's to give you that confidence that if you did fall, you would have the strength to help you get back up or to give yourself the best chance. Now, if you can't get up from the floor right now, again, don't worry, this is really common and many people over 50 can't do it. So I don't want you to feel bad. This is just something you can work on, okay? So I'm gonna, first of all, demonstrate what it takes to get up from the floor, and then we're gonna do 3 exercises to help to give you those attributes, so if it does happen, you won't be stuck. So I'm gonna start off on the floor, and what we're gonna say is, I've just fallen, but I'm not injured. Thankfully, I haven't hurt myself. I've stayed uninjured, and now I need to get back up. So to do this properly, the first thing I would try and do is to get onto one side. So I'm going to roll this way to my left. And what I would do is probably either roll like this or I'd straighten this leg out and bring this one over the top like this. So we want to be in like a semi-rolled position. So to do that movement, we need some degree of core strength. We then need to roll over onto our front like this. Can you see there I needed my upper body pushing strength to get me up to here. I then need to bring a knee up like this, and this position requires hip and knee mobility. So I have to have good hip mobility and good knee mobility. And then the final thing I need to do is to push up like this. And for that, I need good lower limb pushing strength. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on your upper body push, your core, your hip and knee mobility, and your lower body pushing strength as well. Let's have a look at some exercises to help you build all of those areas. So the first exercise we're going to work on is the wall press. And this wonderful little exercise will help you build your upper body pushing strength and your core at the same time. What's more, it's easy to do and most people can do it even if they can't get up from the floor already. So all you need to make this work is a wall. And we're going to stand facing the wall, probably to begin with about 2 feet away. So we've got a space of 2 feet distance between our toes and the wall like that. And we're going to try and put our hands on the wall like this. But if you have funny wrists or your hands don't work very well, you can do it through fists. That's absolutely fine. And if that hurts your knuckles, try and put a flannel or a towel between your fists and the wall just to make this more possible for you. So we're going to start like this, which is how I would prefer to start. Our feet are together. I'll show you in just a moment. And the first thing we want to make sure is our back is totally straight. So we're just leaning forward, our hands are stopping us, but our back is straight, and we're just going to pull that tummy button in towards the spine. And what that should do is tighten up your tummy, and you can do this on your tummy to check whether it's tight, and that's your core switching on. So we're going to maintain that core tightness, we're going to squeeze the bum together at the back, and then we're just going to go down like this and try and touch the nose on the wall. Now when you get to this point, I want you to pause. So we're going to pause there for 2 seconds, and then we're going to try and push up like that, and that's 1. Okay, so I'll show you again. So we come down, let the feet do whatever they want to do. Sometimes you can go onto your toes, some people can keep a flat foot. I'm up on my toes like this. Hold for a second, and then push back up. Now the reason we're doing this little hold is because when I was on the floor, I don't know if you remembered, but I was like this to begin with, I had no momentum, and then I had to push. So we're simulating exactly what I had to do on the floor, but on the wall to make it easier. Now, if this is very easy for you, you can do 10 and you don't feel anything in your arms or anything in your chest. Try taking another foot away from the wall. So now we've got a more extreme angle here. And you can see that I'm still straight. I've still got my bum squeezed. I've still got my core tucked in like this. Now I'm going to come down, touch my nose like this. This is now harder because I've got more of my body weight I'm pushing, and then come back up like that. So I'll show you again. We come down, touch, hold, and come back up. And this is such an easy exercise for people, especially over the age of 65, who are not confident getting back up. And part of the reason you're not confident is because you lack that pushing strength. This will help you to get it. Now, if you're very competent and you feel you can do more, by all means, you can progress onto chair push-ups or even floor push-ups. And by that point, you're almost certainly okay to get back up from the floor. But to begin with, this is a perfect thing to do. I would do 10 in a row and try and do at least 3 sets of that per day if it feels comfortable, to build some pushing and some core strength. So the next thing we need to work on here is your lower body push. And this is the strength in your leg muscles, your thighs, also called the quads, and your glutes at the back. And the other thing we're going to work on here from a seated position is your hip and knee mobility. So obviously when you saw me get up from the floor earlier, I had to bring my hip up like this, and my knee also had to be up as well. And we can replicate that from the chair. So instead of bringing our knee to our chest, we can bring our chest to our knee. And that helps to replicate the hip mobility we need to get up off the floor. So the exercise we're going to do here is called the low sit to stand. And what I want you to do is find the lowest chair in your house that it's still possible for you to get up from without using your hands. It might be your dining room chair. If you're a bit more capable, it might even be something a little bit lower than that, so like a stool or something there. But we want this chair to be low, and we want it to be difficult for you to get out of, but still possible. So I'm going to show you in this chair like this. And this is a 2-stage movement. We're going to take ourselves right to the edge of the chair. So we're just perched on our sitting bones. We want the feet to be flat on the floor. And the first stage of the movement, having our hands out the way, is to bring our body weight forward and our nose over our toes. So we can just practice this to begin with, if you like. And this is exactly the first thing we need to do to get out of a chair. But this will also help us build our hip mobility, because we're bringing our chest down towards our knee. And now that means we're bringing our hip into flexion, essentially. So this is going to help you with your hip mobility. And if you're very stiff, you can just try doing this, keeping a nice straight back, and that should improve your hip mobility over time. But to get the strengthening component of this movement, we're going to push to stage 2, which is getting up and off the chair. So to do that, we go forward like this, nose over the toes, and then push through the heels and lift up like this till we're straight. Then we're going to put the movement into reverse. So bend the knees, bring the nose over the toes again, stick the bottom out, keep the back straight, and slowly lower back down to the chair. Now this is a wonderful 2-part movement for building the strength and the mobility in your lower legs. And you can see that even though I'm bending forward, it's not my spine that's doing the movement. My back is staying very straight. It's my hips that are allowing me to come forward like this. If you can see the other angle of the video right now, my spine is very straight and my hips are bent. That's exactly what we want. So like this and up, and then down, put it into reverse, stick your bottom out, keep your back straight, and lower down to the chair. And then again, forward and up, nose over toes, and back down. And you can see I'm doing it quite quickly on the way up, so probably 2 seconds up, and then I'm going to try and go 4 seconds to go back down. So about double the time to go from standing to sitting as it is to go from sitting to standing. Now this is quite a taxing exercise. If you're doing it on a chair that's low enough, you're probably only going to get 5 or 10 repetitions before you start to feel something in your legs. That's absolutely great if you get that sensation. It means that you're working to the point of fatigue, which is definitely what we want. Try and do that a few times a day, and that's going to make a big difference to your strength and give you that ability to get up off the floor should you find yourself down there. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about 3 Tip Friday. 3 Tip Friday is my weekly email that I send out to my list, and it features 3 of the most interesting things I've found that week. It could be a health tip, it could be a piece of research, I'm reading, or it could be a new tool that I've found to be really useful for helping people get more mobile. It's totally free. I just send it out once a week. There's no annoying promos inside, and you can sign up for it by going down below this video and entering your email in the 3 Tip Friday link. The next thing we're going to work on is, again, your core and the mobility of your legs. And we're going to do this on your bed. So I'm going to use this one here, but you can use your mattress. It's no problem at all. You definitely don't need to get on the floor to do this. And we're going to do an exercise called modified mountain climbers. So this is a great exercise for both your core, tummy strength, and the mobility in your legs and hips. So we need to start off on this position, on all fours. And this is the place we might start. If you have problems weight bearing through your hands, you can do this on your elbows, but it is a bit more tricky. So I'd prefer you to be up like this if you can. Again, if you find it easier to weight bear through your fists, that's also fine as well. So I'm going to start off like this, and the exercise is very simple. We're going to take all of our weight onto 3 of our limbs, lifting one knee up, and the knee's going to come up like this, and then out behind you, and then back down, and then you're going to swap. So up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. And what we're doing here is we're forcing the core to work to stabilize us, and we're also working on that crucial hip flexion and knee flexion as well, and then pushing out to the back and down. So we're challenging the core, and we're also working on mobility. It's a fabulous exercise just to pull everything together, and it will really give you that extra mobility and strength that you need if you happen to be on the floor. I know it kind of looks silly to do this, but you will really feel it working in your tummy muscles. And the goal throughout is to keep that core tight. So imagine someone's going to come and do that to you. Try and protect your tummy area by pulling your belly button in towards your spine, and then do the movement at the same time. So up, out, and down. So it's a great little exercise, but if you find that easy, I'm going to show you the full mountain climber, which is much more challenging. So I'm not expecting everyone to be able to do this. Please don't feel bad if you can't do it. This is just for people who might be more advanced. So for the full mountain climber, we're going to get into almost a press up position. So we're like this, and then the exercise is similar. We're going to bring up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So this is great for the core. I can really feel the core activating, and I can also work on my hip and knee mobility at the same time. So that's the alternative if you find the first one too easy. For many people, just doing that first one is going to be absolutely fine and plenty. You don't need to go all the way through to make it worthwhile. And those exercises are going to significantly help you getting up from the floor if you find yourself down there. For either of those exercises, I would recommend, rather than counting repetitions, practice them for 1 minute of continuous movement and do that 3 times over, either all in one go or spread out throughout the day. It doesn't really matter, for best results. So those are 3 great exercises to help you develop the ability to get up off the floor. I hope you found this video useful and possibly even life-saving. If you found it good, do drop a comment below and let me know, just because I love to read your thoughts on my videos and it helps me to improve them. And if you want to get more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book on Amazon. It's called Thriving Beyond 50. You can find it using the link below, and it's got loads more tips, tricks and advice like the stuff in this video to help you get more fit, mobile and active. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time in watching these videos. I honestly mean that, and I look forward to speaking to you again on the next one.